Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. It is the 23rd of November, 11 a.m. It is absolutely freezing, and tomorrow is my wife's birthday. So today's show will last exactly 1 hour and 5 minutes, and we're going to try and get through an awful lot today. I'm going to try and give you the story of the day, and the story of the day is bullish. We're going to have a look at what Hester Peirce has had to say. This news is absolutely mind-blowing. So we're going to look at what she has to say. We're going to look at the conversation that Grayscale has had with the SEC. What's been said, what's going to be decided, and what's going to happen in the very near future. Then we're going to look at Bitcoin. We'll look at the Bitcoin chart. We're going to go through basically my target, which I think is still on the table for probably the end of November, beginning of December. We're then going to look at XRP. They've also been talking to the SEC. I should have called this the SEC stream, to be honest, because most of it revolves around them these days. Now then, we have been plugging AI tokens on this channel for at least the last 12 months. We've highlighted Singularity, we've highlighted Fetch. We're going to tell you why these coins are pumping, and it involves Elon Musk. So do not go anywhere. And then finally, how do you turn $11 million into $4 million into $24 million? We're going to tell you the crazy story of a film studio that gambled Netflix's money. It has to be read to be believed. And then we're going to finish with the quiz. Before we do, a few shout outs. Good morning to Tariq, who is in chat. Good morning to Hidden Agendas, who is bullish. I think that means to say bullish. Good morning to Web3 Superstar. Happy birthday, wife. Thank you. I will pass on your best wishes to her. I am going to try and sneak in a sneaky stream tomorrow morning before everybody gets up. So I am going to try and do that. Proster, I haven't seen you in an age. I don't think I've seen you since August. I hope you're doing well, Proster. Let me know how you are. Who else? Joe Bundle, boxes, bro. Bro, you will get a box at 3,000 likes. To get a box, you have to hit the like button. No likes, no boxes. It's a very simple rule. Hi, Mike. Which AI token do I prefer? Well, I'm going to go through the article and I'm going to give you my top two. I did do, on Tuesday I think it was, I did do 3 AI tokens that were recommended by another crypto expert, and they recommended the Graph, Render and Fetch, and I only really agreed on one of them, and that was Fetch. The other two, I like Render. Render's going to rip up trees. The Graph, it's been around for a very long time. I'm not too sure about that one, but I'm going to go through them on the show. Hello, user EE. Hello, everybody. Remember, like I said, smash the like button. The more likes we get, the more boxes we drop throughout the show. Now, before we get on to the actual show, let's go and have a look at the crypto prices today and see where we are. So as you can see, Bitcoin has had somewhat of a renaissance in the last 24 hours. I am not going to mention the reasons why, because we stream in multiple locations, but Bitcoin is at 37.6. I said yesterday or the day before that we were looking at trying to hold 36.6, which we did, and then we're going to have a run at 38,000. That's probably going to be on the cards in the next couple of days. Ethereum is up. Ethereum is starting to outpace Bitcoin. If you look, Bitcoin was up 30% for a long time over the 30-day period. Ethereum is now starting to catch up. Why is that? Of course, BlackRock has applied for the Ethereum ETF, and basically the buying of Ethereum has gone up an awful lot since that news came out, because as we all know, the second that BlackRock applied for a Bitcoin ETF, everybody else followed, and it goes the same with the Ethereum ETF. What's going to happen is BlackRock are going to apply, then Vanguard, then you're going to see ARK Invest, then you're going to see everybody applying for the Ethereum ETFs. Don't forget Grayscale on the side. They already have their Ethereum Trust. That is more than likely going to be approved as an ETF at some point in the near future. Let's have a quick look at the 24-hour gainers. As I have said multiple times, please do not buy this token. This token is a utility token from an exchange that no longer exists. If you want to YOLO in and 25 exit, by all means. If you want to short it and long it, by all means. But in my opinion, until there is clarity on what the use of this token is, do not go near it. Clayton is up, Uniswap is up, Ordinals, Sui, Blur. There's a lot of big gainers today. ICP is in my $15,000 portfolio, which I am going to cover one day. Maybe this Saturday we'll go through my $15,000 portfolio. We have a kind of like a test of our own ability. We have a $15,000 portfolio that we're going to try and turn into $100,000 plus in this bull run, and then we want to turn it into $1 million by the end of the next bull run. So it's a $15,000 to a $1 million portfolio, and ICP is in that. We also have some other fairly common coins. 24-hour losers, there really is only one, synthetics. Everything else is pretty much standard. When you start to see gold and stable coins down here, you know it's a really good day. So I wouldn't worry too much. I think we're going to have, hopefully, a bit of a headwind in the next few days to push us up a little bit higher and hopefully reach the magical figure of $40,000. But let's get into the news and we will see what has been said. And the first bit of news is the Hester Peirce news. Now, she is called the crypto mum. She is part of the SEC, and she's had quite a fractious relationship with Gary Gensler over the years. She's disagreed with him on many things, and she has come out in an absolute bombshell interview. In my opinion, she has come out and said, I have been transparent, very transparent, that I've thought for many years now that there is no reason for us to stand in the way of a spot Bitcoin exchange traded product. She noted that each product should be judged on its unique properties, but said that her agency previously received numerous applications that she saw no reason to deny. Nevertheless, of course, as we know, the SEC has rejected several of those applications. I wish it wouldn't do this. Peirce also alluded to a nudge from the court, which the interviewer presumed to be a ruling requiring the SEC to review the Grayscale ETF application, which we're also going to go through in a minute. She said that the SEC and its members will see where things go in light of that legal decision. Now, we don't need to read any more about this. I am going to try and stick to the script today, but suffice to say, with what's happened in the last 48 hours, what I think we've got now, as I said yesterday on a stream, we now have a clear path to Bitcoin ETF approval. There is nothing, absolutely nothing standing in the way of BlackRock and Vanguard and ARK Invest getting the ETF, because the very last obstacle has now been removed. And by removed, I mean removed from the company. And the company's paid a fine, and we now do not have anything left standing. If you look at it from the SEC's point of view, if you look at it from the point of view of the financial services in America, they probably didn't want an actor they considered to be bad still this actively involved in America, and in the world for that matter, before allowing these ETFs. This is now gone, and things move very quickly, remember. They removed BUSD and then approved PayPal in a space of a couple of weeks. They have gone through the courts with XRP. They've gone through the courts with Grayscale. There really isn't anything left. And as Gary Gensler has been told, he is running out of excuses to stop it from happening. So what we've gone now is we've gone from a position of denial and rejection to a position of negotiation. And you will know as well as I do that when people sit down round a table and when they know they have to do something, normally things are resolved. We have seen BlackRock sit down with the SEC. We've seen ARK Invest sit down with the SEC. And now the Grayscale ETF application files have been updated after an SEC meeting. Now, what could this mean? All of these players have gone in to see the SEC, and the SEC have told them basically how they want this to work. And how they want it to work is they want a certain methodology behind how Bitcoin is being bought. And that methodology is very simple. I'm not going to go into the complex legal and financial names for it, but basically what they want to do is have investors deposit USD into the trust, and the ETF buys the Bitcoin themselves. What they don't want to do is have a mixture of Bitcoin and USD deposited into the ETF. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but these conversations are to do with how exactly is the ETF going to work. Now, look at what that wording means. Look at how they're discussing these things. The SEC are making sure that everybody who is going to be approved is going to be approved under the same mechanism. They are not going to want 12 ETFs all using completely different sets of rules. It makes it a nightmare to manage for them. What they want is the same methodology for everybody. So when the auditors go in, the auditors look at the same process in every company. That is what they want. And to be fair, I'm on the side of the SEC. You really don't want to have multiple ways of Bitcoin going here, US dollars going here. Remember, the exchange that is being used, Brian Armstrong's exchange, is going to be the custodian of all of the Bitcoin for all of these exchanges, all of these ETFs. So everything is now in a nice wrapped package within America. That's what the SEC want, and they don't want any surprises, because at the end of the day, much as I don't like Gary Gensler and I'm not a fan of how he has approached crypto, and I don't like Elizabeth Warren and Janet Yellen and that crowd, I do have to concede the fact that when financial products are released to the market, they have to be done in such a way that they can be audited, and that is just a fact of life. That goes for everything from Bitcoin ETFs, gold ETFs. Everything has to follow a set of rules. If we follow the rules and we play by the game, we all know we are going to win. So Grayscale is moving ahead with its plans to convert its trust to an ETF. It submitted the filing before the SEC on the 22nd of November, which was yesterday. The filing is an amended S3 prospectus, a type of registration firm used by firms that have previously met other reporting requirements. A lot of people asking what this means. Haven't read through all of it, but it's just one more data point confirming Grayscale is in talks with the SEC and is making updates, changes to their offering docs after discussions with and feedback from the SEC, looking for any other new info. So we don't need to read any more of this. We'll get into the next article next, which I'll also bring up the Bitcoin chart on. But lastly, if Grayscale is able to uplist GBTC to NYSE Arca on the same day other issuers launch spot Bitcoin ETFs, and they make a concerted effort to compete on fees, they have a real shot of dominating this ETF category, even with BlackRock in their mix. I do not agree with that whatsoever. The number one player, and make no mistake about this, the number one player in Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs, Solana, ADA ETFs, whatever else they decide to go down the route with, BlackRock are going to be the number one. Everybody else is going to come second, third, and fourth. Grayscale can have a lead now, but there is nothing stopping BlackRock buying $100 billion worth of Bitcoin. Nothing. And eventually, maybe not on day one, but eventually, over a period of maybe six months to 2 or 3 years, BlackRock will be head and shoulders above everybody else in the market. And that includes MicroStrategy, that includes every other exchange out there, because they are very close to the American government. Let's just leave it at that. Now, before we go on to the next article, I think I'm now going to drop some boxes. So I'm going to bring the next article up. I'm going to drop some boxes, and then we will carry on. Very important to let me know, this is a two-way stream. If you are watching from a beautiful part of the world, let me know. If you're watching from inside of a house where it's snowing or raining outside, let me know. I'm going to drop the boxes now, and I'm going to drop the envelopes as well. So just bear with me while I do this, and then we will get on to look at where this crypto influencer thinks Bitcoin is in the markets. Remember, if you're new, we have a hybrid show. We do a lot of news, but we also do a lot of market analysis. We're going to look at today, we're going to look at Bitcoin, XRP, and probably Fetch. They're the three tokens we're going to look at the charts for. But I wanted to start the show with the news of where we were in regards to the SEC and everything else that's going on. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to drop this, and then we will carry on. Okay, so that's one lot dropped. And remember, if you're watching from a streaming platform and you want this free crypto that we give away on the streams, if you go underneath our video, you're going to see links to the different platforms, and we are on there. So make sure to join up and let me know. Buguzi Jr., you're watching from Tanzania. Very nice. I am not too far away from you, believe it or not. Well, I'm further north, but I'm not too far away from you. Right, so let me drop the red envelope, and then we will crack on. 1 second. Where is this? Here we go. Just let me enter this. These things do take a little bit of time, and unfortunately, they're manual. There we go. Okay, so the red envelope has been dropped. Remember, make sure you follow us, whatever platform you're watching us on. Make sure you follow us. It really helps us grow our metrics. We are at big numbers on certain platforms now, and you really will help us out if you follow. So King Cobra, thank you for accepting the gift. I hope you follow the channel. Also, don't forget to smash the like button as well. That really helps us out. Now, let me get on with this. So, who is this gentleman? I believe it to be Credible Crypto, has told his 353,000 followers on social media that Bitcoin is in a large reaccumulation zone, which covers price levels between 38,000 and 34,800. I think we're in a tighter range than that, but let's have a look. We worked with this same range in one of my recent video updates, where I was calling for a move to the range lows from the highs of 38,000. That move down ended with the wick at 35.5, which is the blue circle below. That region that we bounced from was a key level of demand and was formed by deviation below the range lows. If this entire consolidation is a large accumulation range, that demand zone should hold. This is why a wick below the lows of 35.5 is fine, as long as the higher time frame demand zone isn't breached. We're going to have a look at this now. So Kaleo is also bullish. He thinks that we're going to rally to $40,000, and there's your dip. Blood is for the buying. I'm going to go on to this. So we have one saying 34.5 to 38, and we have one saying 40,000. And as you know, if you watch or have watched for a while, I have been calling for $40,000 now for about 2 weeks. And again, if you're not new here, you're going to know what you're looking at. So this is the channel that we've been in for a while. If you look down here, we've got 35.8, I think, at the bottom, and at the top we've got 38,000. So the range that I have here is very similar to the range that's just been discussed, but we're talking about this line here. this is where we need to get to. This is our $40,000 range. And from where we've come to where we're likely to go, you have to remember back here, this area here was, I believe, the pre-Bitcoin ETF zone. And if you look at that pre-Bitcoin ETF zone, that's the zone where we weren't too sure anything was going to happen. And we were kind of, like between this area here. We're in this nice little box between 31.5 and 25. We were in this for quite a few weeks, if not months. And then we got the news that Web3 superstar, you didn't call for 48,000. That never happened. So what we're looking at here, where are we going to go? We're going to go up. And why are we going to go up? We're going to go up because we're going to get a Bitcoin ETF. And it doesn't matter when it happens. It either happens this week, happens next week, or it happens the first 2 weeks of January. But we're there. We've reached the promised land. And I think what's likely to happen in the next couple of weeks is we're going to have a breakout. So if you look here again, let me draw another line just to show you where we are. There is a price which is just about here, which is 37.4. And if you look, we've kind of, for the last 2 weeks, we've been kind of trapped at this level. And we've broken up, yes, but we didn't really break up far enough. So we're trapped at this level at 37.4, which we're just sitting on top of now. And I think what could happen in the next few weeks. So remember, this blue line, I've had this on the chart for a few days. Sorry, not for a few days, for a few weeks. I think we could see something like this. And again, I'm always going to leave my lines on the chart. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I think we're going to see something like this. And maybe by December, we are going to hit this 40,000. And this is the key. I think we are more than likely going to see somewhat of a rejection. So Web3 thinks we're going to hit 48,000, which is all the way up here. There is a fib level here at 44,000. Fib levels are very important because Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, XRP, the bigger coins, they honor the charts a lot more than meme coins and low caps. So for me, I think we could hit 40,000, and depending on the news, I think we could come back into this range and finish the year somewhere about 39 to 40,000. But I think we're going to get rejected at 40,000. I don't think we're going to break it in the first go. So if we do reach up there, we could come back down to kind of this area here, which is pretty much where we are now, if we get rejected. And remember, we've only got 5 weeks left of this year, and then we're into the January. And once we get to January, all bets are off on the prices, because we're going to be 4 months away from the halving. We're going to be 2 weeks away from the ETF. We're going to have interest rates coming down. We've got a presidential election in America. Recession is going to be a thing of the past. Everything changes next year. And I'm not going to say this time it's different, because it isn't. This time it's going to be magnified. We are going to see bigger Bitcoin swings. And then if the Ethereum ETF gets approved some point next year, bigger Ethereum swings. But for me, Bitcoin is going to absolutely tear up trees. My diminishing returns, I think the Bitcoin price will be 1.6 times the previous all-time high, which is $105,000. That was my target from way back, which is now going to be wrong. And I'll say it's going to be wrong now because of Bitcoin ETFs. They're going to change the price. They're going to magnify the price of Bitcoin, and it's going to be multiples higher. Maybe it gets to 150, maybe it gets to 200,000 this cycle. I don't know. But my law of diminishing returns tells me we're going to see a 60% increase on the previous all-time high, which is 105,000. That's the minimum. We could be anywhere by April next year. We could already be at 100,000 just because of the demand. And as I've said yesterday, for those of you that weren't here, I'll repeat myself. You don't need $300 billion coming into Bitcoin to take it from 700,000 to a trillion. That's not how it works. Every 1 million, 10 million, 100 million of Bitcoin being bought increases the total asset class value by multiples of that. Now, I think 30 to 40 billion inflows into Bitcoin will get us to, I think it was 50,000, 60,000 is the price. So it doesn't take a lot. That's something else to bear in mind. Now, I think we're going to test 40,000. I think we're going to test 40,000 in this box, which I'm going to leave here. And that box is a 10-day period there. I think we're going to go there. 40K. So in the short term, I don't see us breaking down below 36,000. I do think we're going to test 38,000 again. And if we break 38,000, one or two things is going to happen. We do this, or we do this. We're either going to break it to 40 or find resistance and have another run at 40 in December. But whatever is happening, I am looking in this direction. And there is nothing in the news to show me that we are going to come down. The very last piece of the jigsaw for the SEC and BlackRock, the American government, the final piece of the jigsaw is now in play, and we are going up. And that is as much as I'm going to say on this, because I don't want to run out of time. So we're going to look at another SEC conversation now, and that's the case to do with XRP and are they going to settle? Web3 Superstar, we know you're a beast. If we hit 48,000 by the end of the year, I will personally give you a prize. I don't know what I'll give it you in yet, but I'll give you a prize if we're at 48,000 by the end of the year. So don't think we will. So the XRP case, the SEC announces private meeting, investors await Ripple lawsuit settlement. So if you remember, there was two elements to the court case with XRP. One element of it was, are the sales of XRP on secondary markets, are they considered securities? And no, they are not. They are not securities. XRP won that case. Now, as far as I'm aware, there is a second part to the case, which is a fine. And that is, did the initial offering of XRP lead people to believe that they would buy XRP and the price would go up? If the answer is yes, then they will have to pay a fine, which is fine. They broke the law, they pay a fine. That's how things work. Now, they've had a private meeting about this because basically the XRP case has been an absolute disaster for the SEC. They have really, really failed at their job as a regulator. So it's scheduled for Thursday, November the 30th. That's a week today. The agenda will include the settlement of the action, the proceedings, the resolution. Everything else will come to a close. Now, remember, what I think is going to happen is the SEC are going to say, if you agree to this settlement, let's say it's $100 million. If you agree to this settlement of $100 million, we will close every and all pending court case against you. Then it's up to Brad Garlinghouse, because remember, he's really bullish and he's really, really aggressive. He went to court and he's won. Is he going to want to take the fine? Look at what will happen if he takes the fine. If he takes the fine, he will admit, or he will have to admit, that the initial sale of XRP could be considered a securities sale. That's what he'll have to admit. Whether he believes that or not is totally different, but that's what he'll have to admit. But does he want to put an end to all of the court proceedings, all of the overhang over Ripple and XRP? Does he want all of that gone? Because once all of that's gone, Ripple can start to really integrate itself into the American banking system. We already know about XRPL and how it's already going to be a protocol for banks to use. Would the court case put an end to the delays in integrating Ripple? I think it would. So I think he's going to settle, because if he doesn't, it could be another 12 months, 2 years, and then we're into the next bull cycle. Does he want the price of XRP to be suppressed for the next bull cycle? I don't think so. So I think he's going to settle, and I think he's going to pay the fine. Now, if he does, and we're going to get onto the charts in a minute, if he does, XRP is going to blow. So the pivotal point of contention remains the staggering $770 million fine imposed on Ripple on July the 13th, marking a significant breakthrough in the XRP case. Against this backdrop, investors are eagerly awaiting the outcome of the private meeting, which could potentially pave the way for a resolution in the lawsuit impacting the future trajectory of XRP in the crypto market. So we're going to get on to have a look at this. And I think what I'm going to talk about now is I made a video way back in July, and my video was very simple. Where will the price of XRP be in the near future? And I very simply said, if we win the case, we're going to see a $1 to $1.50 XRP. And as I've said multiple times on here, we hit 94 cents. Did we not? Yeah, 94 cents. So we didn't quite get to the $1 that I predicted. Now, XRP is doing an incredible job of showing where it's going. It's giving you signs. The first sign is this yellow trend line that it's been following since, I believe, January. So the entire year, XRP has stayed above this line. This here, this is the XRP victory, or the Ripple victory, sorry, against the SEC. It's where they won. But look what happened. We've been bouncing, we've bounced, we came back up, we didn't break the dollar, we've come straight back down to where we were. So I think the best thing for me to probably do is just extend this out a little bit now, to maybe be about here. So where do I see XRP coming? Well, if you look at the bull market support band, the moving average, whatever you want to call it, look what's happened. We've broken it. We've been underneath, we've struggled, and we've broken out. And what have we done? We've found resistance. We have bounced off this bull market support band. We've bounced. So I think, first of all, we need to take out these prices here, which is 70 cents. That's where I think we need to go. Now, if there is a settlement, we are going to come up, in my opinion, and we're going to retest this 94 cent line, which is where we were before. Remember, history tells you where prices are going to go. It doesn't necessarily predict the future, but it tells you where prices should find levels of support and resistance. And I think we'll go back up. We're definitely going to have to break the 70 cent line. We're definitely going to break 80 cents. We're going to have a crack at 94 cents. That's if this court case next week is concluded in time. Maybe the SEC has gone, you know what, now we've got the biggest obstacle out of the way. Now we've got the bad actors out of the way. What we're going to do now is we're just going to start to step back and allow crypto to flourish. If that's the case, then if we can get XRP to $1 by the end of the year, or 95 cents to $1 by the end of the year, we could be looking at potentially a $6 to $9 XRP in the next bull run. That is a 10 to 15x from where we are now. Now remember, the price of XRP has been suppressed by this court case, so it's artificially a lot lower than where it probably should have been. It probably should be about now, it should probably be about $2, $2.50. It isn't, because it's been suppressed. It was suppressed in the previous bull run. We need to see a bounce towards the $1 range in the next few weeks to have a great 2024 with XRP. So my first target is, if they pay a fine, let's say it's 100 million, 200 million, whatever it might be, that's my target for XRP. It has to break up this 70, it has to break here, which is 70 cents, and then we need to have a run at $1. I'm not saying all of that's going to happen in a week. I'm saying we've got 5 weeks left. Let's see how close we can get. Are we going to get to 70 cents? Are we then going to have another run? Because it will pump When this settlement happens, it is going to pump. Now, maybe it follows this. Maybe we see this, and then it comes down again. Maybe it follows that path. But I think this is the last overhang. They won the court case, but they still had the fine hanging over them. This is going to put an end to the fine and every other part of the legal proceedings. This is the conclusion. This is closure for XRP. So expect big things from XRP in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Now, the next major article we've got is to do with AI tokens. And as I have said, I have my own bag of AI tokens. I hold 3 AI tokens for full disclosure. I own Singularity, I own Fetch, and I also own ChainGPT. ChainGPT is a tiny AI project. I do not know what it's going to do. It could go to zero. Its price action hasn't been great, but it has pumped with the rest of the AI tokens because Mr. Elon Musk has come out and revealed he has been investing in various AI projects, and that is bullish, very bullish. Let's have a little look at where we are. So for Tariq, what I'll do is I'll go through the article, and then I'm going to bring up the 2 AI tokens that I would go for, and funnily enough, they're the 2 I hold. And the reason being is I've spent a lot of time looking into both of them. There are others. Render is very good as well, and there probably will be in the next 12 months, there'll probably be some more AI tokens coming to the market from projects that we currently don't know about. So always remember, when there's a new technology like AI, it's not necessarily the AI tokens that come out first that are going to be the biggest. It could be that an AI token comes out in June next year and it rips up trees and it ends up doing a 1000x and ends up at a $100 billion market cap. That's always a possibility with such a new industry. So rising interest in artificial intelligence buoyed by shareholding from Musk's X Corp and drama at OpenAI impacted the crypto market. This past weekend, let's get rid of that, crypto tokens linked to AI saw their prices spike amid a flurry of attention, including Elon Musk's weekend message that Twitter would acquire a quarter stake in his AI startup XAI. After the announcement, AI tokens saw a 10% jump in prices and more than 11% gains over the previous week, with trading volume at $1 billion. Some of the biggest gains were Ocean Protocol, Fetch AI, Singularity.net. So 2 of those 3 I hold. The price fluctuations were also impacted by dramatic changes at OpenAI. Now, Sam Altman, I'm not a massive fan of WorldCoin. I don't really want to cover it. I'm never going to advise you to buy it. I don't think it's the future, and I don't think it's something that we should necessarily be promoting. I just don't like it. I've made a video about it. I'm more than happy for you to go and check it out, but I'm not a fan of WorldCoin at all. So they've sacked Altman. The employees were all going to leave. They've all told them that they're going to leave unless they bring him back. But then there's more news coming out. So there's a thing, I think it's called AGI, which is Artificial General Intelligence. And that is the scary Terminator style AI. So it's not AI that is created to do one job, like render photographs or produce scripts for movies. Artificial General Intelligence is cyborg men, or the Borg, or whatever you want to call them, robotic life forces, if you like. And the letter that I read, which was, funnily enough, published on Twitter by Elon Musk, it said that they were aiming for AGI, which is Artificial General Intelligence, and it wasn't something which they necessarily agreed with, and Sam was keeping this from the press and from the board, and that's one of the reasons that they got rid of him. was to do with this. So I'm not a fan of WorldCoin, and I'm not a massive fan of what's gone on over there. Over the weekend, AI tokens even outperformed Bitcoin and Ether, with Ocean Protocols fetches at FET. Seeing if we've seen this one. Okay, so let's get onto the charts. I've picked one, and for me, Fetch and Singularity. Why have I picked them? Fetch has use cases across multiple corporate level blue chip companies. It is not a token that is going to make you sound like Elon Musk. It's not an AI project going to make you sound like Elon Musk. It's not going to make you look like Charlize Theron. It's a serious bit of kit. And the way it works is it has these bots decentralized around the world that you can get certain tasks done in medical. For example, it will allow you to analyze and go through a lot of data, create reports, those kind of things, but on a big scale. And the actual revenue model and the way the ecosystem works is very simple. You buy your FET, you pay it into the system, that FET gets distributed to all the different nodes and bots, or whatever they're called, that carry out the work, and they get paid and rewarded for hosting these bots. It becomes a very cost-effective way to carry out big data for the corporates, and FET sits in the middle, taking a percentage like a broker. It's a very simple revenue model, but as you can see, the price has taken off. Not quite dramatically, but you'll see we've hit 58 cents. And again, very similar to XRP, look at previous price points to see where a token can go. That's what I would look at, whether it be on the downside, whether it be on the upside. And if we go back even further, remember that this has previously run up. We've got all the way up towards, actually went over $1. So we've had some spikes. We've come down. We've kind of mellowed in the bottom range of the fib. We've come back up in February at the start of the year. We've come back down. We found support at the top of that fib level. We then had a trend line form, which took us from June all the way to October. Nice to see, very much like XRP. It's showing, higher lows, not necessarily higher highs though, but higher lows. So we'll give it the credit of the benefit of the doubt. And then the news has come out. AI was never going to stay out of the press for that long. And we've come back up and we've touched our previous levels. So what I think is going to happen now is potentially, depending on what Elon Musk has to say about AI, we could see Fetch maybe do this for a while and stick around this 45 to 55 cent range before the bull run. Now, when the bull run happens, where is FET going to go in the bull run? Well, first thing you need to do is you need to look at where the price is right now. So it has a market cap of 400 million. Imagine a $4 billion market cap for Fetch in the bull run. Let's just give it a 4 billion. Where would that put it? That would put it, compared to today's prices, 20th. So, is it conceivable that potentially the biggest AI project in the world has a $4 billion market cap? Yes, it is conceivable. I think we can get there. The next question then is, at which point does it reach its capacity in the next bull run? Could it hit a 10 billion market cap? Well, look at the projects around it. I don't think it's going to reach the market cap of Cardano. I don't think it's going to reach the market cap of Dogecoin at these current prices. Obviously, these are all going to move up in the bull run as well. So they're both moving trains. Which one's going to move faster? I think because it's only 400 million, I would be looking at a $2 to $4 billion market cap minimum. So that is at least a 10x from where we are today. And that doesn't sound exciting. I admit that. It doesn't sound exciting. It's not 1000x. But if you're building a portfolio and you want your entire portfolio to 10x in the next bull run or 20x in the next bull run, and you want to diversify into different categories, AI for me isn't as connected to the crypto ecosystem as other projects. So if you look at Solana, for example, if you look at tokens on Solana, they're bound to the Solana ecosystem. If you look at the layer 2s, they're bound to Ethereum. If you look at Fetch and Singularity and other AI tokens, they're kind of running their own race and using crypto to allow the payments to be processed, to allow their ecosystem to work. So although they are crypto, they do have their own distinctive position within crypto. So what I would do if I was going to buy into an AI pot, and let's say I had $100 to invest in AI, I would probably go with $25 in Fetch, Singularity, maybe Render, and then against my better judgment, maybe the Graph. And I would put an equal weight into those four, and I would put them to one side and look at the price in November 2025, because potentially of those four, one could 30x, one could 10x, one could 5x, and one could flop. But by spreading your risk around 4 tokens, you're minimizing the chances of you picking the lame horse. So if you went into the Graph and then the Graph was suddenly, usurped by another token, then you've got all your eggs in one basket, and that's probably not a good idea. If you go look at FET, maybe FET gets taken out by OpenAI. So maybe you don't want to be in FET, maybe you want to be in Singularity. But you can't possibly predict the future. So as well as having a diversified portfolio, you should have individual pots that are diversified. So going back to what Tariq asked before about pick one, what I would do, Tariq, is I would create a separate mini pot for AI, and I would buy at least 3 AI tokens, and I would go for the biggest 3. Now, if you go to CoinMarketCap, let me just see if I can do this for you. If you go to CoinMarketCap and type in this is really handy for anybody, by the way. You can look at categories and markets within CoinMarketCap. So if you see here, this is the top AI and big data tokens by market cap. So you've got Injective, it's already 1.3 billion. The Graph is 1.3 billion. Render 1.2 billion. But then you move further down, you've got Fetch, you've got Singularity. They are my 2, because the way I look at this is, should Singularity be able to get to Injective's price? Yes, well that's a 4x. Should Fetch be able to get to Injective price? Yes, that's a 3x. So just to get these tokens to the top of the AI ecosystem is still a 3 or 4x. Well, that gives you a $1.50 Fetch, and that gives you a $1 Singularity. So you're already looking at gains just within that market. Render I do like. Injective is already up there. It's already at 1.33 billion. The Graph could 10x quite easily, but if you're going to look for super gains, you want to be looking from maybe Prime up to Oasis. You want to look at these size market caps, 200 million to 450 million, because they are the tokens that it takes less money to move them, is what I'm trying to say. If you've got a $10 billion market cap coin and you've got a $500,000 coin, it doesn't take as much money to pump the lower market cap coin as the top one. So that's why I've picked them. I could very easily sit here and say go for Injective, the Graph, and Render, and that's a safe bet. But this is AI, and AI can move very quickly. It's a new market. So maybe look outside. Remember, Render's had a massive run up quite recently as well. I don't know anything about a cash network. Obviously, Ocean is in there. If we go further down, the only other token that I own, Veracity is in there. I'm not quite sure why Veracity is in there. I know that Web3 is a big fan of that. There is another token that I hold which isn't even listed. ChainGPT. So I hold a small pot of this one. That has a $30 million market cap. It's tiny, and maybe it'll be a success, but it's a very, very niche product. Very, very niche. So potentially I would only be looking at a $300 to $400 million market cap for that one. I don't see that going to 10 billion anytime soon. So that's how I would play it. I'd get myself maybe 3 or 4 AI tokens. I would review the graph and render and inject it and see if you like them, but definitely check out Singularity and Fetch. And remember, I'm not paid by anybody to say these things. I'm not sponsored by any of these tokens that I'm reviewing. If I was, I would tell you. Right, let's get back to this last article, which is an absolute cracker of an article. Now, I'm probably going to do the quiz in about 3 or 4 minutes. Traffic is really down. The last few days, very, very down. Okay, right, let's get cracking. So, director YOLO'd $4 million of Netflix budget into Dogecoin and made $27 million. Carl Eric Rinch reportedly used nearly $11 million of his Netflix show's budget to gamble with stocks and crypto and made millions on a single Dogecoin bet. The director of Netflix's sci-fi series Conquest reportedly used $4 million from the show's budget to bet on Dogecoin and made $27 million in the process. Wow. The New York Times report details the behind-the-scenes drama of the sci-fi series Conquest, which the streaming giant doled out $55 million to make, but has yet to receive an episode. In March 2020, 16 months after Netflix bought the idea and provided him with a budget of $44 million, the director asked for more funds. They obliged and wired him $11 million on the condition he finished the show. According to statements, he used $10.5 million from the fresh funding to gamble on the stock market and lost $6 million in a few weeks. With a little over $4 million left, he transferred the money to a crypto exchange and went all in on Doge. When he liquidated, he withdrew $27 million. Unbelievable. Thank you and God bless crypto, Rinch wrote in a chat with a representative. With the proceeds, Rinch allegedly spent $9 million on high-end furniture, designer clothing, a $380,000 watch, 5 Rolls Royces and a Ferrari. The New York Times said Rinch launched a confidential arbitration proceedings against Netflix, claiming the streaming service breached its contract and owes him $14 million in damages. This man is on another level. Unbelievable. In a deposition, Rinch said the items in his almost $9 million spending spree were props for Conquest. I'm sorry, I had to put that one in. It really doesn't have a lot to do with crypto other than he YOLO'd, and to be honest, that is a big chunk of change that he's been throwing around. Anyway, let me bring up the crypto charts. Let me go and have a look at Bitcoin. We've got about 5 or 6 minutes left. I've got to basically, as I said, my wife's birthday tomorrow. We've got a delivery arriving after 12 o'clock. So I'm going to keep it short today. So what we'll do is we'll crack on with this, and then we will, I'm going to see how far we get. Let's drop some questions. So remember, just type in the answer as I have typed it in, and that way you won't get it wrong. So fetch, which we've just been talking about, is it an AI or a meme? So just type in AI in uppercase or meme in lowercase to win. AI in lowercase doesn't really look right. So is fetch an AI coin or is it a meme coin? Just type AI or meme and you will be a winner. And remember, do not DM anybody in chat. If somebody tells you to contact them and they'll help you make money, they are scams. Do not do anything they tell you. Remember, you need to type AI in uppercase. And you get, we do 60 seconds on these questions because some people have massive lag on their streams. So that's why we give you such a long period of time. Okay, so not many people got that one right. 16, 18 people got that one right. The answer is, of course, it is an AI token. We've just been talking about it. Sergey got that right. Bebe, Zayha, Mohammed, Nazim, congratulations to you all. I'm going to be as quick as I can with some of these. Try and get through as many questions as I can in just a few minutes. And then, like I said, I have to go and wait for a delivery. Next question. Every time. I tell you what, the one day I need to go, the one day I need to go on time, and the app works like an absolute charm. Go figure that. So, is Bitcoin proof of work or proof of stake? Drop your answer in chat. Also, it would be really, really helpful if you could smash the like button and give us a follow. We're only on 6,500 likes. That's a quarter of what we're normally on. And the number of views is down about 50% as well. So I've no idea why it's such a quiet day today. This is better. Way more people getting this one right. That is good to see. Thank you for the follow. Shrikant19, greatly appreciated. Xwig, I dropped the box at the start of the show. So what I will do tomorrow, actually no, I didn't drop it at the start of the show. I dropped it at 11:15. So to get the coins, you've got to come to the stream probably 5 or 10 minutes into the stream. So 31 people got that one right. Congratulations, Tariq. Tariq, you didn't get caught by the monkey today. Datu Shah got caught by the monkey. Crypto Leon, Alice, Sergey again, Harvin, Solo Sky, Eagle Wings. Nice to see you back, Eagle Wings and Solo Sky. Nice to see you all here. Next question. I'm going to crack on and get through as many as I can. I think we might be able to do 2 more. Let me think. Oh, come on. Okay, remember to read the answer. Sorry, read the question. Make sure you understand it. I want you to tell me the surname of the owner of X. Just the surname. Don't give me this man's full name. I just want the surname. Drop that into chat. Let's see how we're doing. How many people have got that one right so far? Only 6 people have got that one right. Remember, we only want the surname. If you type the full name, you don't win. The way the chat quiz works is it has to be the same answer that I type in. So if you don't put in the surname, and that's his last name, if you don't put that in, you don't win. If you say, well, the time's run out now. If you've typed in Elon Musk, you haven't won. The question was the surname of the owner of X. The surname. So for everybody that typed in Elon Musk, you've all got it wrong and none of you have won. So Miyamotus, congratulations. RoboCrip, Eagle Wings, Nazim, Tariq, congratulations. 14 of you got that right. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to drop a box. I'm never not going to drop the box at the end of a show unless I forget. And then I'm going to run and wait for my parcel to arrive. Now, what I will say is make sure to check out the details underneath the stream, because there should be links to... Hang on, let me just type this in. There should be links to join these streams and get the free crypto. Now, obviously, I can't mention the channels, if you like, but underneath in the description, you should see all of our contact details. And on one of the channels, we will drop red envelopes. We will drop them 15 minutes into the stream every day this week and on Saturday. So make sure to check out the details in the description. If you're already watching on one of those platforms, please give us a follow, and also make sure to smash the like button and say hello. So very important. It's supposed to be a two-way stream. So a big thanks to the regulars, a big thanks to Tariq and Solo Sky. Froster was here today. Big thank you to you. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm going to try and sneak in a stream at 11 o'clock tomorrow. I can't do it any later. As I say, it's my wife's birthday tomorrow. Got to do cakes and things like that. So until then, thank you everybody for coming. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you all in the morning.